riba, the one who gives riba, the one who records the transaction, and the two witnesses. He cursed them all. He said they're all equally guilty. So this is a subject that we should pay attention to. If you would like, and the seminar is free of charge. If you would like to attend the seminar, you will have to buy, of course, the textbook that we use, the prohibition of riba in the Quran and Sunnah. And if we cannot get someone to offer lunch, we're going to have to pay for the lunch. But do please write down your name, your telephone contact, or your email, or your residential address, and tell us whether you are in North Trinidad, or South Trinidad, or Central Trinidad, or Northeast or Northwest, so we know which one to place you in. And do that for us before you leave today. Question. What about a woman who for some reason or the other cannot get married? What option does this woman have to secure her feminine role? Is it by not going out to work? Good. This question allows me to expand. Khadija radiallahu ta'ala anha was a businesswoman. Okay? A businesswoman. She employed Nabi Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam. Fatima radiallahu ta'ala anha, the daughter of the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam, was married to Ali radiallahu ta'ala, but he was poor. And husband and wife used to go and cut wood and make bundle and bring it to the market and sell. Husband and wife, because he was poor. If a woman is not compromising the fulfillment of her function as a wife and a mother, she is fulfilling it. Then she has the freedom, provided that she does with her husband's consent, she has the freedom to work outside the home, provided it is with her husband's consent. However, and the slave master wouldn't like what I have to say now at all, when she goes to work, wherever she's working, she should be in hijab. Oh, no, we don't want them kind of woman here. Not in this office, point in the office, man. That's how they respond. We don't want no woman in hijab in this office. If today she is permitted, tomorrow she will not be permitted. Why? Because the idea is to corrupt women. Secondly, if she's in hijab when she goes to work, with her husband's consent, then in the office she has to behave the way a Muslim woman should behave, in accordance with what the Prophet in the Quran has given us. Number three, there is a forbidden space between a man and a woman. It's not only a physical space, it's also a social space. It's also a psychological space. That space should not be violated. When a Muslim woman behaves like that in her office, they'll try to throw her out as soon as they can, because she's bad news for that office. Yes, sister. Just do it and you will see how they'll treat you. If today there is respect for you, remember tomorrow it won't be like that. Does a Muslim woman have to cover? When I was a child growing up in Trinidad, we didn't have hijab. No, I never saw a woman in hijab. I saw a woman in orni. My mother used to wear orni, and they were usually transparent. And whether a little bit of hair showed and a little bit of hair didn't show, we didn't have all these things. Praise be to Allah that a new day has come where our women now know that the Prophet ﷺ has spoken. And he's ordered. Islam doesn't come from this organization or that organization. Islam comes from the word of Allah and from the messenger of Allah. That when a girl reaches the age of puberty, nothing must be seen of her body except, and he pointed to the face, and he pointed to the hands, so the hair cannot show. If our sisters were not brought up with this, and they are now bareheaded, if our sisters don't know the subject, how do you preach to them? How do you teach them? How do you get them to come into hijab? My experience is there are some you could preach and teach from now until thy kingdom come. It ain't gonna change. But if you were to create a Muslim village and they come to this village and they see all the sisters living happily, enjoying themselves in hijab, then they will be encouraged to also do the same. But if you demonize them, make them feel bad about being bareheaded, they'll drive them away further from where you are. So you need to adopt hikmah in dealing with this problem. Please comment. If a man refuses to maintain his wife, is this reason for divorce? If he has the means to maintain his wife and he refuses to maintain her, yes, it is reason for divorce. If he does not have the means to maintain a wife, she has the choice. If she wants to, she can help him. And if she wants to, she can ask for her freedom. If a man is medically unfit meaning unfit to work, and the woman has no choice but to work, of course, if your husband gets into an accident and he can no longer maintain the family, he's on disability, you have a choice. If you choose to now assume the role of working to bring in an income to maintain the family, that's your choice. You have the freedom to do it, provided your husband agrees to it, but there will be a lot of blessings for such a woman. How can she safeguard her role as being essentially a woman? Can she combine working with males and still maintain her role? Is there any way for her to do so? I think I've already answered the question in the conditions. Number 1, with your husband's consent. Number 2, in hijab. Number 3, the way you behave. Number 4, the forbidden space. Things like shaking hands and hugging between opposite. I like this question because this is a problem in Trinidad. I have an auntie sitting at the back. My auntie is now an old woman. And I went up in front of everybody and I went and kissed my auntie just now. Why? She's not a young woman. She's an old woman. There's nothing harm. But you shan't kissing all your cousins and them. That is the custom over here. And we have to try to correct it, change it. The Prophet ﷺ, if he were to come back today, would he be shaking hands with me? No, he would not. Where did the shaking hands come from? It was never a part of our civilization. It was never a part of Hindu civilization, never a part of Chinese civilization, never a part of Japanese civilization, never a part of African civilization. It came from European civilization. And it was meant to break the taboo of men and women in physical contact. And when European civilization brought shaking of hands between a man and woman, guess what the rest of the world did? We followed them. We imitated them. The Prophet prophesied that we do this. He said, anything that they do, you will do it. To such an extent that if they were to go down into a lizard's hole, you will follow them into the lizard's hole. So, when I was a little younger and more stupid, I used to shake the hand, and after shaking the hand of the woman, then I'd try very softly to explain to her, you know, we're not allowed to do it. But then when my beard became grey, but a little bit more wisdom, now I don't do it. If you're offended, too bad. But you're not going to invade my religion and change it for me. So now I get all kind of responses. When a woman puts out her hand to shake hand with me, and I say, excuse me, but my religion does not permit it. Some of them look at me as though they want to beat me with a banana. Others feel extremely embarrassed. But what can I do? This is the law. If I bow and submit to whatever you're doing, I will lose my religion. So it is not permissible for men and women to shake hands with each other. What about hugging? What if shaking hands is haram? We have a Muslim, so-called Muslim leader in this country, waging war on the scholars of Islam, declaring that they are great security risks. They're preaching a terrorist version of religion. And they go around at the women in hijab and say, you're looking at doing Taliban. Well, I have news for you. I think such Muslim leaders are waging war on Islam, and they're not Muslims anymore. They've now joined ranks of the enemies of Islam. Men have allowed women to excel because of their lack of ambition and lack of responsibility in all fields of endeavor. Islam has no problem at all with women excelling in examinations, and the women pass and they come first in the exams. Islam has no problem with it, because Islam does not distinguish between the male and female and say this one is superior to them. Never. And so a woman excelling in any field of endeavor is something that the whole community should be proud of. Is this the will of Allah? Can men blame women in this regard? No, men cannot blame women if women excel. When I went to philosophy, I was like a fish in water. Something natural to me. And I studied philosophy because Maulana Ansari ordered me to take that subject. I wanted to take mathematics. He said, no, philosophy. And you must do this as your honor subject. When I took my final exams, a girl beat me. She came first. She came first. But she was the daughter of another born philosopher of Pakistan. I didn't mind. I didn't mind. Did Prophet Muhammad ﷺ use the word brother and sister in any hadith? The Quran uses the term brother, and in it is included the term sister. Innamal mu'minuna ikhwa. That the believers are ikhwa to each other, meaning brothers